reaction? You're going dancing.
Well, what I'm most proud of is this very young team. When we started out the season with 5 freshmen, 4 sophomores, 2 juniors, and only 1 senior, the potential was there, but we lacked experience. We lacked an understanding of how we were going to have to play at both ends of the court. I thought throughout the year we made progress, but the progress was sometimes 2 steps forward and 1 step back. But I was absolutely thrilled when we won 4 straight to end the regular season and to earn the number 3 seed in the ACC tournament. I just was disappointed we didn't play better in the ACC quarterfinals against Carolina. I thought we were very capable of playing better and advancing, but we just didn't. Now we got to bounce back and play much better come Thursday against a very fine Loyola Chicago team. They're out of the Missouri Valley Conference, and anybody that knows the MVC knows it's not a football league, it's a basketball league. You go to their arenas, they're selling out, 10,000 strong. It's a basketball conference. The athletic director at Loyola is Steve Watson. He's one of my former players. He was a terrific player for me at Bowling Green State University. He and Porter Moser, their head coach, have done a great job of building that basketball program.
It's always a connection. What about them on the court? We know they beat Florida at Florida, which is fairly impressive.
Yeah, I think probably for our players and our staff, the major concern is anybody that can go on the road and win in Gainesville in the non-conference and beat the University of Florida on their home court. That says an awful lot about their capability. Secondly, I always look at the coach and see his pedigree. And in Porter's case, he worked for the great head coach of St. Louis and Utah and Marquette and Ball State. His name is Rick Majerus. And I coached against Rick when he was at Ball State and I was at Bowling Green. And Rick was a defensive genius, and his teams always executed on offense. And I think Porter's Loyola or Chicago team does the same. And you can tell when a team goes 28-5 how good they are.
How do you feel about Dallas as a site?
I love Texas. I love going to Dallas. I have good memories when we went there in 2013 and ended up in Austin. So bring back good memories for anybody that followed Miami basketball back then.
What do you think the team learned in the ACC tournament that may carry over now?
Well, there were several things that happened in the ACC tournament and that caused us to lose. Number one, our 2 top priorities were getting back defensively and not giving them the 5-second layup. And number 2, keeping them off the offensive boards. And we didn't do either one. And so the message today leading up to practice was we've got to do both of those things no matter who we play. And then the third thing is we need to share the ball better. We only had 11 assists. That's 5 assists below our goal. And if we can get 16 to 20 assists, that means we're sharing the ball pretty well. And that's what we need to do come Thursday.
I know coaches don't usually look ahead in the bracket, but did you look at the other people on your side of the bracket?
No, I looked at Loyola, Chicago, and we got to get ready for that game.
Jim, any update on Bruce?
Yes, he goes in for his evaluation tomorrow morning at 7 a.m.
Is there any chance you think that he'll be able to play?
No. I mean, he hasn't played in 6 weeks. It'll take him 6 weeks to rehab the foot so he can go. Because you go into the NCAA tournament and you play Bruce Brown, you think he would play hard? You're darn right. And that would put that pressure and the danger of him re-injuring it. So there's no chance that he'll play Thursday.
How gratifying is it to go into today knowing that this team wasn't on the bubble? It's become a regular thing for Miami basketball to make the tournament.
Yeah, one of the things that my staff and I are very proud of, we've been here 7 years. The things that we heard right from the very beginning were you'd never be able to beat Duke or Carolina. And we've battled them. We've been very competitive with those 2 programs that everybody considers the traditional best teams in the ACC. They said we'd never be able to win an ACC regular season or a tournament, and we've done both. And they said we'd never be able to consistently draw a good crowd. And now we've been sold out for 3 straight years, and we're getting better. We've been to the NCAA tournament now 3 consecutive years, and even this year with a very young team, we weren't on the bubble like a lot of ACC teams were. So that's a major step in the right direction, and we want to keep that growing and heading even further in that direction.
Hey Jim, not to get too in detail on this, but on Bruce, if you guys go to maybe make it out of the first weekend, are we thinking possibly, or is that just it's not reasonable to expect?
Well, let me put it this way: if Bruce decides to come back next year for his sophomore year, then we plan on playing them.
Fair.
Taking a young team into the tournament, what are some of the things you have to guard against?
Well, experience has a way of helping you through difficulties because you've been there before. Inexperience doesn't give you that edge. So the most challenging thing is, how are you going to deal with adversity? Within our own league, we faced a lot of adversity. Traveling on the road to play a very fine Notre Dame team, we ended up winning a very close game. Coming home and falling behind 16 points to Boston College and having to battle back in the last moments to win that game. Going to North Carolina and leading by 16, and then all of a sudden with 4 seconds to go, the game is tied, and having to make a buzzer beater to win that ball game. And then come home and play Virginia Tech and having to make a game-winning free throw. That gives us that experience of having faced adversity and overcome the adversity. But the NCAA men's basketball tournament is a whole different animal, because there's so much attention, so much excitement, so much pressure and stress. What we emphasize is for our guys to relax and enjoy it, to enjoy the journey. And if they can, then when the time comes and we face that adversity, we'll be able to overcome it.